sure you don't know how to do it?
Well, here we are, guys. This is episode 6. It is April 28th, 2026. And we have done 6 episodes in about 5 months. So we're doing pretty good for our weekly episode frequency here. So that being said, Rafi, glad to see you back in the States. You're alive, and I wouldn't say well, but you're alive. How's it going?
It's good, man. Tired as always. I have to complain, right? I cannot be thankful. I have to complain about shit. But traveling a lot. I'm under new management at work, so like dynamics change a little bit. And
Right. You got a new boss. He's a jerk.
No, it's not, but it's just different dynamic. Actually, it's better. Before I was more like a lone wolf. Now I can count with someone to actually back me up on my projects and everything. So it's being pretty good, but it's intense. So with promotion and change of management, it comes more responsibility, right? So I have to step it up.
Did you let your boss know that you have a podcast that you're a co-host on and that you need to have a little bit more time between travel assignments so that you can be present here?
Actually, I told him today, and he was like, "No, I'll gladly fire you, so we have all the time in the world." So
excellent.
Actually, that's a perfect excuse then.
Yeah, I mean, if you got fired, you'd have plenty of time to do this. I mean, I could even have you make content for the show. You'd have so much time.
I'll have to go back to the traffic lights in Brazil, doing like freaking how do you call it, juggling and stuff. So, or like the guy at the show, like juggling ball pythons.
Yeah. Well, speaking of juggling ball pythons, we have some guests tonight. I think this, outside of Zach, these guys are probably our first guests. And you guys might know them as the hosts of Balls and Things. And they are Terrence from Keys Constrictors and Coach from Coaches Royal Reptiles. Hey, guys, how's it going?
What's up?
What's going on?
It's going great. It's going great. Doc, I'm already a big fan of yours. I'm a subscriber to your YouTube channel.
Oh, thank you.
I like your channel. I watch it, whenever you're posting stuff.
At least I have one subscriber, so I'm happy about that.
No, I'm going to be the one that likes and subscribes or likes comments every video.
Oh, you've got 2 subscribers. I subscribed out of sympathy.
Why? I was gonna say, why did you even subscribe? Because you don't watch shit. Like, time passes, is like, did you see that on my videos? Like, no, I haven't. Like, thank you, Travis. Yeah. That's very supportive. Like my mom is up there on the count, but she didn't subscribe yet. So like, at least she watches the videos.
Well, I'm still selling my mom on a subscription to my channel as well, Doc. So she's been a rough one. I'm working.
It sounds like we've all got mom issues. My mom doesn't watch any of my content either, guys.
She'll be embarrassed though. Like, I didn't raise a boy like this. So
yeah. So Doc, you're from Brazil.
Those are nice. So
go ahead, Coach.
Are you from Brazil, Doc?
I'm from Brazil.
Do you know mixed martial arts and stuff like that?
I used to be into jiu-jitsu, but then my wife said, like, why are you getting so close to man? And I was like, I like the sport. I mean,
I'll tell you what, you don't mess with Brazilian people. I'll tell you right now, that's not smart. They're probably gonna scam you, so you shouldn't.
That's right. You know, Rafi with the trafficking the ball pythons and everything. Apparently he's a shitty trafficker because he got caught.
Fuck it. It was just my first rodeo, and they caught everything, and I couldn't even get it back.
Yeah. I mean, here we go. Let's just him at the border. So I don't know what he was trying to dress up as, but obviously it didn't work.
Why do you think I'm traveling so much? I'm trying to run away.
Do you always go back to Brazil? And I'm jealous because I want to go to Brazil, man.
Don't be jealous. There are so many better places in Brazil, which is safer. I mean, there are some beautiful places in Brazil, but I wouldn't go to where the tourists go. Like just like any other country, I don't like crowds, and you're probably gonna get mugged for your watch or your gold chain or something.
You know, I'm probably gonna go where the animals and stuff are because that's what I want to do. Look at animals.
Oh, if you go to the Amazon, I mean, it's amazing. If you like mosquitoes too.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I lived in Houston, Texas for a couple of years, so I know what big mosquitoes look like. That's for sure.
Yeah, but they're probably not the size of your head, right?
Not that big, no.
And then they come with dengue fever and all kinds of crap. No, that's real. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, if you go to the Amazon, because of the amount of mosquitoes, there's a big prevalence of yellow fever and dengue fever, and you actually have to put like mosquito spray all the time.
Well, what do we have? We got Lyme disease and
we have that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got them all. So hey guys, I know Terrence has got to jump here in a bit because he's got some stuff going on. So I wanted to hit him up with a couple questions before he's got to go. Then we're gonna put Doc in the Doc. We're not putting Doc in the hot seat. We're putting Coach in the hot seat, and hopefully, I'm looking for the mute button for Doc. We got the mute button for him, so we're gonna use that later. So Terrence, Doc. I know you've been asked this question probably 1,000 times. What brought you into ball pythons? What are you working on now? Let's get the usual out of the way so I can ask you a couple of really good questions.
So cool. Well, I always liked snakes since I was a little kid. I used to go herping, and before I knew what herping was, and just picking up garter snakes and frogs and just all types of animals and reptiles and stuff. But I couldn't keep them as pets. I remember bringing home a garter snake, and my mom said, "Get that out of this house." So as soon as I got out of college, first thing I did was buy a ball python, and I had and I didn't really do too much research or anything. I used to have a couple of them, and and they stayed in the same enclosure, but it was fine. But then a few years passed, I got rid of them. But then about 2019, I went to Daytona. I was living in Daytona, and I was just going to get a leopard gecko. So I went to the NRBE in Daytona, not knowing what it was. I just saw the sign. I was living on the beach, and I just saw a sign that said Reptile Expo. I'm like, oh man. So I asked my lady at the time, like, did she want to go there to get a leopard gecko? She was like, yeah, let's go. So I went, and I just saw a coral glow, and it blew my mind. Like, this is what ball pythons look like now. And just being in that atmosphere with all these people, like-minded people that just love reptiles, it blew my mind. And but I still had no intention of buying any snakes. I just wanted to get leopard gecko. But then I saw this the snake at somebody's table. It was this little snake, and they charged me like $20 for it. I felt like I stole something. Just like, oh my gosh, it ended up being a lesser. And he didn't even tell me what it was. I didn't ask any questions. I was just like, oh man, I'm getting away with this.
I'm gonna buy this thing, get out of here before they change their mind.
On my way out, I'm asking everybody, what is this? What is it? Everybody telling me what this, but how do you know this? How do you know this? So I was intrigued from that point on. I was doing a lot of research, and the snake was so small, I'm not even sure it had its first meal. So I had to go on YouTube and figure out what to feed this snake. And then then I went to work, and I was telling a friend of mine about it. He said, "Oh, really? I breed ball pythons." I'm like, what? So then I was like super intrigued. So I was asking him every day. I couldn't wait to get to work. And he was one of my employees, but I couldn't wait to pick his brain. couldn't wait to pick his brain. And just every day I was just harassing him. I know he had to get tired of it, but but then so then I met another snake breeder, and I went to their snake room, and I was hooked from there. Like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is what I want to do. So from that day on, then he introduced me to Morph Market, and that was it. It was a wrap.
That's
It was a
it.
wrap.
You're done.
Where,
I'm
where,
up 3 o'clock in the morning, just I wake up in the morning, just like 3 o'clock in the morning, just looking at you at Morph Market. Morph Market became like the devil. It was an obsession to me. And of course, I did it
Terrence,
wrong. I
where
bought a bunch of males.
are you located?
Right now, I'm in West Virginia.
Oh, my dream.
What? Oh,
Seriously,
no.
I'm not kidding. Like I like I want to have like big land, and like I don't care about like countryside. Like that's actually one of the places that I consider after my kids are grown and moved out of the house, right?
I've only been here 2 months now. 2 months today, actually. I was living in Georgia for the past couple years, and before that, I was in Florida for about 8 years. But I'm originally from Pennsylvania, Jersey area.
Oh, I wish I knew that you were here in Georgia.
Oh yeah, I was there for a couple years. Georgia was fun.
Where are you
Dallas.
at? Oh, it's not that far. I'm in Woodstock.
Oh man, I used to work in Woodstock. That's cool. Small world.
Yep.
There's still a lot of breeders out there. Paco's over in Rome. You got Bob, and now who else is who's somebody else?
There's a guy. There's a guy that has a
Canadian,
couple.
Justin.
There's a guy that has a couple of ball pythons in. I think it's Gainesville. Like
Yeah. I've been to all their places.
Just in something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So when
Never
did
heard
you
of
get?
In November.
When did you decide that you were going to do this as a breeder and get into it serious? And what I mean by serious is be stupid with your money and buy a whole bunch of snakes.
Oh, it was 2020, and it has nothing to do with COVID.
Right.
But it was 2020.
2020. And what was your first project? What did you decide? You're like, all right, this is what I'm buying first.
Clowns and pies. That was one of those guys. That's what people were into. And well, you know what? Oh, I mean, I watched a lot of Chris Hardwick, and so it was like whatever he showed, I like, man, that's what I'm getting.
He wanted a bamboo for sure. I know he did.
Oh, of course. I think my first pairing came from bamboo. My first clutch came from bamboo.
That's a funny story for me. Same thing. Bamboo to a lasser, and I got 10 eggs, one bamboo, no blue eye Lucy. That was the most disappointing pairing, and then like the bunch of lasters and normals.
My first pairing was a bamboo put to a banana. Yeah. And
so what are you working on now?
First snake I named him Adam, and I gave him to my son. The first snake out the egg.
Nice. So what are you working on now? What's your big thing now?
A lot of paint, puzzle, DG, of course. Still mess with clown. I got a lot of pied. I still don't. I'm not like a big pied fan though. Not as much as when I first got into the hobby. I got a few Dinker genes I'm working with, so it's really yeah. Will. What up, Josh? What up? So those are what's up, Holly. Those are all my main projects. But and I got a million different codoms. I was like a kid in the candy store. I got like 11 recessives, maybe 12, probably more than that. Who knows? I'm not even keeping count. Yeah, I just jumped around a lot, and my eyes were real big.
That's how we all do it at the beginning. We're just buying everything we like, and next thing you know, you got like nothing that goes together. You're like,
you got to kind of
not listen to anybody, right?
Yeah. It's like, what do you mean I can't? Sure you can.
I mean, how many people get into this and make all the right choices right off the bat from square one?
Put your hands up.
Like 0.5%.
Yeah, if that. Everybody
Oh man,
starts
yeah.
running around buying
I
stuff.
bought like way too many males when I first started too. Man, I was just buying nice looking snakes.
Yeah.
And Craigslist postings, like trying to get good deals.
Oh yeah. Not knowing about quality too much either. Like that's why you have to trim down and cut back. Well, get rid of a lot once you get into the hobby. Once you start
Yeah.
getting more focused. Oh man, I'm wasting a whole lot of rack room.
So, how many snakes do you have now, and what are your future plans for the next couple of years?
I got over 100 right now. But for the next few years, it's just trying to get some triples, but just and hit doubles, and then just put my favorite codons with my favorite recessors, which is paint and puzzle are two of my favorites.
Okay, nice.
And Ultramel is king, right, Coach?
Yeah, that's right. God darn it. I don't know. I don't do any
I
albino.
love T positive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
T positive is cool. If I was going to do an albino, it'd be T positive.
I like them both, actually. I've got both in the rack. I can't. It's like, how do I put this in a way that won't make my wife mad? It's like two different types of beautiful women, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're equal to me. I mean, I like the lavender quite a bit, and I like Monarch quite a bit too.
I eat that way. I never choose. I just, why choose? Have both.
I like the color.
And that's what I have Ultramel and I have Monarch because I like them both in different ways.
And they're different. I
Simple as
didn't think
that.
they were. I was when
Like
at
I don't
the
have to
beginning of-
pick.
Yeah, I saw
and you-
Ultramel first, but if I'm gonna keep it real, if I saw Monarch first, I'd have been the Monarch because look the sweatshirt I'm wearing. It's just,
Yeah.
it's just.
I actually picked up.
Burgundy's my favorite color.
Say that again.
I said burgundy's my favorite color. I love
Burgundy,
burgundy. I'm a
He's
Commanders
a
fan.
Redskins fan, so
There it is,
And-
right
and-
there. Yeah.
No, Giants rule the NFC East.
Oh my
And-
God.
And to
man,
be honest,
I'm having a heart attack.
if Caramel didn't have issues,
That's true.
yeah,
if Caramel didn't have issues, I would have Caramels too.
right.
Caramel is beautiful, but they
Right.
keep up.
But
All right.
I'm
So before we got on the show, I decided I was going to ask you guys some questions that you hadn't been asked before. So I'm going to hit you up with a couple questions, Terrence, and unfortunately, Coach gets a preview, so he can formulate his answers.
Ah,
But,
damn
I'm
it.
old. It's because I'm old. That's
Don't
I
forget
should have an
anyway.
advantage
It's all
on you.
good.
And this is literally just based on the one fact that I'm going to ask you stuff on a podcast you haven't been asked before. That's it.
Let's go.
So, do you believe in aliens?
Yes.
All right. When was your first abduction?
Yeah.
Oh man, so I don't like to talk about that because it gives me a real traumatic experience.
I know,
'Cause,
I know.
I still feel the little probe every once in a while.
No, I had to ask that because I mean, all over everywhere, right? We're talking, these people in Congress are talking about aliens and disclosure, and we got 3-Eye Atlas with all these aliens that were supposedly on it, and apparently somebody diverted it, and there was no longer an alien invasion. So I mean, thank God.
Travis,
right?
Travis, do you believe in aliens?
Do I believe in aliens? Yeah, I think aliens are real.
Yeah. No, I don't believe in them. They're such liars.
The aliens are liars, are the people.
All right, hey, Terrence, what do you do for a day job? What's your profession?
I work at a warehouse. I'm just a manager at a warehouse.
Okay. All right. You keep things moving, keep the logistics flowing.
That's it. Yeah, logistics.
Right on. And you got some kids, right? You got at least one kid.
Yes.
You got 5 kids?
28 to 16. Well, my son will be 28 in a couple months, August.
You have a 20-year-old son?
28.
I thought you were 20.
I wish.
Tell him Keys.
47.
Now I got 4 kids too, and I think my oldest I think he's around 28 also.
Yeah, but you look
But
like you have a
here's the
20-year-old
kicker. My
grandson.
youngest is 3.
Oh, damn. That's spread
So
out. Oh my gosh.
what am I thinking? What am I
New-
thinking?
What are you thinking?
I told
New,
my wife, I was married twice, 2 kids in the previous marriage. And after I got divorced, I was like, you know what? I've got enough dad in me for one more kid. I could have one more kid. I feel
Mm.
like, I could do that. And I met my wife and she's like, I want to have 3 kids. And I was like, whoa, hold
Well,
on. I can do
can't-
1. And she's like, I want 3. And I was like, so we met in the middle. And so we got 2.
nice.
So it took us a lot longer to get to the 2 than what I was hoping.
Mm-hmm.
So I was hoping that by now they would be, the hormones would be kicking in and they'd be starting to get into puberty a little bit, but we're a little behind the curve on that one, but that's okay.
Man.
It's cool. It's interesting to raise kids.
weak juice.
Well, he had
Weak
to
juice.
practice. He had to practice stuff.
Don't know what it was. Probably with all the awesome food that we eat nowadays.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
what it is.
Yeah, quite possible. All right, so you got 5 kids. What have you enjoyed the most about being a dad?
Oh man. Watching them grow up, man. 4 of them, 3 of them already graduated college, so it was just
Right.
seeing them, watch them from grow up and becoming adults. Really, it was just in being there throughout every step of their lives.
No, that's pretty good. You got 3 kids that are college graduates. Kudos to you, man.
Thanks.
Kudos to you. All right. Well, I'm going to shift over to Coach a little bit. Of course, we'll still, jump in whenever. But if you got to jump off, Terrence, just go ahead and give us a peace out. I know you got some stuff going on right now, and thanks for coming in.
Appreciate it.
Coach, you are now going to be in the hot seat.
I'm ready. Go ahead.
I'm gonna stick around a little bit for this. I'm gonna leave.
Why in the hell did you get into ball pythons?
Oh man, I've been in this hobby now about 13 years. And when I was in the 90s, I used to keep colubrids. I kept corn snakes, milk snakes, and king snakes. And in the 90s, I worked at PetSmart's corporate office, so I was around a lot of the different animal stuff. And
Right.
one of the guys I used to hang out with on the weekends was
Easy.
actually one of the reptile hard good buyers. So, and he had an enormous collection of snakes, and I was like, yeah, I want to do this too. This is really cool. So I did that, and like you, I was married twice. So the
Me
first
too.
marriage was very she let me have the colubrids, but she was not happy about keeping pythons. But it was all right because when we split, I was in a rough place and needed to I had kids just like you, 2 kids from the first marriage, and I just
Right.
stuck to the 1 kid on the second marriage. I held to
He
my
said he
guns.
just stuck to it, man.
I held to my
he held his
guns.
ground.
She wanted to have more kids, but I was like, no, only 1. No, she didn't care. She didn't. She was been all right if she didn't have any kids, I think. But we did 1, and then but I started in like 2013. Just was gonna get because I already had snakes. I was just like, I'm gonna get a ball python, and I didn't know about any of the genetics. However, I saw a picture of a piebald python at a reptile show in the 90s when I was still working at I didn't work for PetSmart, but I was officed at their corporate office. So I was still working in that capacity.
Right.
I saw a picture of a piebald python, and it was like late 90s, probably 97, 98. They wanted $20,000 for it. And I told the guy who I was hanging out with, I told him one day I'm gonna have one of those. And we were like, yeah, whatever. Where are you gonna get 20 grand for it?
No, you're not. You're just going to wait for the price to drop.
That's
We
it.
didn't know. It wasn't even 2000 yet. So and so then I started looking for like a ball python in 2013 because I was now working out of the house. I had a job where I had to work out of the house 3 times a week, and I wanted just something for my home office, and started looking for. I've always wanted a ball python. Ball python's always been my favorite snake. It's always been my favorite snake species, and so when I started looking for the at the ball pythons, this was 2013. So I mean, they had like pastel, maybe an albino,
Some
uh,
spider.
a spider, and that's what I bought first. Spider Poshet Hypo is what he is. And I still have him. He's probably 12, 13 years old. He was a Craigslist pickup. Was great. I got the whole 10-gallon tank, the snake, the whole thing. I think it was $80. I was like, this is great. I'm going to get a couple of these. But then I really started looking. We didn't have Morph Market when I started in it. We were looking at King Snake.
Oh, King Snake
Yeah.
was my candy shop.
You remember King Snake, right? It would take you like 27 minutes to see 3 different ads because I'd click on it and you'd wait, do the buffering and.
I was still in Brazil, and I would go through every category,
Yeah.
and I was just like be dreaming, and because we couldn't bring stuff in, so like I feel you, candy like venomous.
I lived on King Snake and started. Facebook groups were bigger then because I think we didn't have like a Morph Market or something like that, and wasn't really a big social media push yet. There weren't a lot of ball python channels on YouTube, but I just was blown away when I started looking at all the genes. And then I met a good friend of mine here in Chandler area who's also breeding ball pythons and corn snakes. His name is Jeremy Kloss, and his business is the Freaks of Nature. And I bought like my 3rd animal from him, and it was probably my 3rd male, and it was an Enchi, and so I have the that snake still to this day as well, because that's how I met my friend. So
Nice.
he'll be here for ever and ever too. So, but that's how I kind of got into it, and then I just started researching, and I had Jeremy, it's like 3 miles from me, so I would drive over there and help him cut a clutch of eggs, or pull a clutch of eggs, and he'd show me how to set up an egg box. And I'm an animal lover, so I was just blown away, and I was just like, yeah, I got to get me some of these. So
yeah, it's a nice OJT going on there. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. So
where are you located, Coach?
I'm in Chandler, Arizona, and I was going to tell you when we started the show, and you guys were, it's after dark. I didn't want to be like falsely advertising because it was still daylight here.
It's still daylight.
Yeah, it was only 7:00. I come running in the door, shoving pizza in my
bro?
mouth and trying to, wash my face a little bit. But yeah, that's how I kind of got in, and I've been in for 13 years. I've got about 100 ball pythons in my collection. I also keep a small group of bull snakes, and I just recently added a Brettles python, and that's just
nice.
that's like an alien. That thing is an alien.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued by the brittles. I like the Similia also, the Bolins and some of the scrub pythons as well.
Right. Well, that's the point I made on my my YouTube channel the other day, a couple videos back. I pointed out to everybody that I keep ball pythons, bull snakes, and a Brettles python. So what I'm looking for is somebody to donate another bee named animal, maybe a Bolin's python, to the collection.
Oh, there it is, Bolin's.
I don't know if you get somebody to donate that, but
Hey, let's not think negative. Let's not put negative stuff out there. Let's all be positive, and just say, hey, you know what? We're gonna put.
I can hook you up with a boa next year.
A boa.
All right, there you go.
Because I need a bee, right? It's a bee. And I love boas too. They're such pretty animals.
So what keeps you going currently, and what are your plans for the future, next couple of years?
I work I like working with the incomplete dominant stuff. I like to stack genes, and then
You see that HRA in the background.
yeah. There's my HRAs in the background. But I love HRA, and I'm really working that project just really slow because I want to keep the black back. I had a pastel lesser HRA, and her entire sides, if you go look at the video, it's like
I'ma step off,
highlighter
fellas.
yellow. All right,
Thank you
brother.
for having me.
I'll see you tomorrow night, brother.
Yep.
See you, bud. Good. Thanks for
Yeah.
coming.
Thanks for
So-
stopping by, man.
Reptile pit tomorrow on Balls and Things. Not those types of balls and things, you perverts. So keep your minds out the gutter.
All right. So yeah, she's blown my mind. I've never seen a snake like this. She looks like a yellow belly, but it's highlighter yellow, and it goes from her head all the way to her tail, and it's highlighter yellow. And she looks like two different snakes, an upper half and a lower half. And it's just really interesting. And so I've been working that. I like allelic combinations. So like cinnamon is allelic with HRA, and cinnamon's also allelic with Enchi, and so HRA and Enchi are allelic. So I've made a couple of those Enchi HRAs, which I never really saw back in the day because we probably didn't know they were Enchi HRAs because they're allelic, and so.
I don't even know if I've seen one before because I have one animal with HRA, and I don't think I will ever breed him because he's just a little bitch. He doesn't eat, so he's probably 500 grams, and he's 3 years old, and it's a confusion HRA. He looks great, but he looks like a worm.
So I have again I've been doing this a while, 13 years, and I have about 94 ball pythons in my snake room right on the other side of this wall, and all 90 of them all eat frozen thawed, and I've got about probably 30 to 40% of my collection that I've produced. I start my babies on frozen thawed mouse hoppers. So I've got snakes in my snake room that have never seen a live rodent. And most of the time, I've noticed that the problem usually with ball pythons not eating is we feed them way too much. You know, I feed my adult males and female ball pythons 1 meal per 4 weeks. So I give them a big, nice medium. The females get a big, nice medium. Males get a nice size small rat every 4 weeks. And if somebody starts looking a little bit lean, I just give them an extra meal. It's much easier to put weight on the animal than take weight off the animal. And you know, your females are always going to blow up. Your females are always going to blow up and get fat when they're going to breed. And the way I trigger breeding is I step up the meals for the females. So, you know, males, you don't have to do anything to trigger males. They're dudes. So they know what to do. The girls, you trigger them by I step up their food. So I'll start feeding them like every other week. Then I'll pound them with maybe one in between, and they're going crazy. They're eating and they think, okay, now's the time to breed. And so I paired like 8 girls this year. I've got 3 clutches already on the ground. I got 2 that are gravid and I got one that's probably I might go in there and she might have eggs right now. And I have 2 more that are probably gonna go. They look. I think my red stripe fire pos het clown female is doing the ovulation thing today or yesterday. So, which I never catch.
I was telling Travis that I usually feed them smaller meals when they're young, and then I keep upping when I really start upping the size is when they're around 400 grams, but I want them to have that slow development until they're like 400 grams, just building up their bone structure and organs and everything. So I don't blow up my animals like with a bunch of food. And usually my females go between 2.5 to 3 years instead of going at 18 months, which I don't think it's very good. on them. And people say, oh, if they're going, it's because they're ready. No, like in nature, they're not going to be ready in 18 months because they're not going to find enough food to be
They're not, yeah,
at
exactly.
breeding size at 18 months.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not in a rush. So you always
Me
want
either.
like that.
That is
Coach,
so.
what made you
I'm so
decide to
glad
go
you're-
to once a month?
What's that?
What made you decide to go to once a month?
First, I went to every 2 weeks, and I was feeding every other week. And I had read a paper about a python's digestive system doesn't go back to a resting state for 14 days after they've fed. So the whole thing is if you're feeding them every 14 days, they're constantly digesting. And so
Yeah.
if you're trying to feed them every week, they never get done digesting. And then we wonder why they don't want to eat. We wonder why they get such a bad rap as eaters. We're feeding them a Thanksgiving turkey every 7 days. It's like us eating a Thanksgiving turkey every day. And then, 2 months into it,
What's the problem with that?
Yeah, you're mad at somebody because he doesn't want to eat turkey anymore. Wait a minute, I've been eating turkey every day for 2 months. I don't want to eat turkey no more.
Yeah,
So I just
it's
think
interesting that you bring all that up, Coach, because like my males, I do them twice a month, and I would say on average they probably skip meals, and I'm probably in reality feeding them once a month.
right.
And my females, if they're under 10 millimeters, they're not eating every week. At least mine aren't. They'll skip meals. I have a couple of females that will eat no matter what, but for the most part, they might eat.
You always have an outlier. Everybody always has a ball python that they're like, he eats every meal. You'll always have an outlier. Just like if you feed like in the way I'm my schedule, and I really don't have a schedule. I just like, it's been about a month. Let's start feeding. And most of the time, I'm just feeding by body condition. And so I will notice that the males are the ones that will need maybe a little extra more often than the females, because the females are a bigger animal. They're carrying more weight. I'm feeding them a bigger meal. So it's probably, being used a whole lot more. The other thing that I've really noticed since doing this is I'm not cleaning up poop all the dang time, man. So if you don't like cleaning up snake poop, stop feeding them so much. And I heard Vin Russo say that one day on a podcast just like this. And that's where I started thinking I'm going to play with it and start, and I went to 2 weeks. Nobody broke. Nobody got hurt. No snakes were hurt in the, cutting back of this food. And then I cut them back to every 3 weeks. And nothing broke and nobody looked any worse for wear. And I said, shoot, I'm going to push it and see if I can go 4 weeks. Now, 4 weeks is about where I think it's about the window is wide enough. And sometimes I got to feed them a little bit early because I think that maybe my female's looking a little bit light or what have you, but it's much healthier for them, like I said in my last video, just running around town. They don't need to be fat like they're having eggs all the time. It's much healthier for them to have just a healthy, build. I have that first female I bought she's like 12 years old, Pastel Lesser. And I got him from Eyeball Pythons, Chris Eaton. That was his ball python business, Eyeball Pythons. And I still have her, 12 years old. And if you pull her, I was cleaning her cage today. People always ask me what's a ball python supposed to feel like. It's supposed to feel like you're carrying a healthy, good looking ball python that's a healthy one, not a fat one. It's supposed to feel like, you're carrying somebody's leg around with you. It's not gushy and fatty feeling. It's solid and it's muscular feeling. And if she balls up in a ball python, I'm 6'4" and weigh 300 plus. I can't get her unballed, and I guarantee it. She's just all muscle, and she's been eating a medium rat every 4 weeks for probably 6-7 years.
Now that's interesting because in the Angolans, it's once a month is the standard for them.
Right.
And you feed them any more than that, and there's literally no change in growth rate at all.
Right.
And so it's those snakes, it's real easy to get them overweight.
Oh yeah.
And so that's the big thing with the Angolans is you don't want to feed them more than once a month. So like my Angolans, yeah, they get once a month and they never ever miss. My ball pythons, like I said, I feed a mixture of frozen thawed and live ASFs. And, for the most part, they do okay. But, like I said, all my females, save a couple, will miss meals. And, so you had me on your podcast and you talked about the once a month feeding. And I was like, that triggered the memory of reading the paper on the Burmese python and about how, the organs literally enlarge 50%. And then you have all of these hormonal changes, or these levels of hormones go up, 1,000% after a meal. And then and it's not like you have like a fixed number of cells, like in the heart, for example. The heart increases in size by 50%.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not because the same cells increase in volume. It's because the number of cells increases.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that meal, after that 14 days, those cells, they die off, or they get rid of them through this metabolite. And I just looked this up. There's a new study in, I think it's Nature, done by Stanford, and they've isolated this metabolite. That's not a gene. I can't even begin to pronounce it, but it's PTOS. That's the shortened version of it.
Okay.
And it's a metabolite, the L-chain amino acid tyrosine. And that metabolite, like, literally triggers this massive organ growth, but it does a couple other things too. It triggers this organ growth. It triggers a metabolic response, and it also decreases appetite. And so now they're looking at it for, of course, for all of us fat humans, right?
Right.
But
I'm trying to get approved for all those ones. I don't even care. I'll take a shot right now. Hit me wherever. I'll go. I'm all in.
But
think
like, why did nature engineer that if they're supposed to eat every week?
Right.
Think about this. If you really want to know, like, how long is the time for digestion for a ball python, you get a ball python that was fasting for whatever 2 months, like no eating, and then they decide to eat. You feed them. The first poop is gonna come 3 weeks later.
Right.
You bet it's not 2 weeks. Like the whole digestive system, like from the time that the rodent is eaten by the end when it poops, is 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So
I just think they are alien. They're totally different than anything that people are used to keeping as pets. And it's just, we try to jam them because jam them full of food, right? Because for us humans, a healthy reptile,
you want to get them to breed faster.
Yeah, so you want to see them eating. And so I don't know who came up with the 7 days, but I remember watching Vin Rosso on a show just like this, and he was talking about feeding, boas, Doc, and he was saying that boas, he feel, are very seasonal eaters, meaning they have a season when the food is very plentiful and a season where it's like not at all. So he was recreating that in his boa collection, where he was like not even feeding boas for like 4 months of the year. And then he would feed them like a regular, feeding schedule, I think every couple of weeks. But then he wouldn't feed boas for like 4 months and have no problem at all.
Yeah. Well, the Angolans are the same way. I mean, the 3 months for the winter, nobody feeds them.
Yeah.
And then when the day cycle and the light cycle gets longer and you start upping the food again, that triggers the follicular development.
Right.
So
I feel. Go ahead.
That's how I trigger females to breed, is I just up their feed. As soon as you up their feed, I put in a male within the next probably, I start pairing my females about the end of October, and then I'll also, I just watch my females. Sometimes you can tell a female, she doesn't have a season, especially these ones that were hatched in somebody's bedroom somewhere, right? They don't have no season. They're just, when do they go? So if I see a female who I feel like is building, or she's bull wrapping a lot. She's cool seeking a lot. I'll just throw a male in with her if I'm wanting to breed her and see what happens. And
Yeah.
I've had clutches. I only try to get, like I said, 4 to 6 clutches a year. But if I got a female, it took me 6 years. I got my VPI Exanthic female. I bought her from Sean Bradley. I can remember when I got her, she was 86 grams when I got her, and I had never seen a ball python that was that small. And I was panicking. I'm calling Sean. I'm like, what am I going to do? He's like, relax, just hand her any rodent, she'll be fine. And his animals just, and he was the first one that I heard. He told me when I was, buying a snake from him, he said, I think we feed these animals way too much. I think the other thing that I've noticed with babies that I've slow grown, they don't brown out, and they don't brown out as soon, and they don't brown out as much. That's what I'm just seeing, and that's really more of like an opinion based thing. But it does look like they hold their color longer and better.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't have thoughts on that. Yeah, usually the only thing that I do for sure is hatchlings every week, because I
Oh, yeah.
notice if you pass that 7 days, you're gonna start seeing a decline.
Yeah.
I
Oh, yeah.
I don't believe in 2 ice a week unless you're feeding very small prey for
Right.
like a hatchling. But I can see like from an animal that did not eat a meal like in 1 week, it's not gonna be skinny, but you see a decline like because the metabolism is much faster.
Right, and because
So
their
like
bodies are so much smaller, right? So they're not carrying around enough mass. So yeah, I always feed mine about once a week, 7, 8, 9 days. My babies when I get them, and because I always say it's a race to 250 grams. You get them to 250 grams, they're bulletproof. I think ball pythons are very forgiving. They're very, very forgiving. I've seen ball pythons just living their best lives in some pretty rough conditions. As long as they're being fed, and they get some fresh water, they can go pretty good.
So what do you do with your hatchlings, Coach? How do you feed them? And when do you get to the once a month mark?
Well, like I said, I feed them like Doc's saying. I feed hatchlings every 7 to 10 days, and then what I'll do is I want to, and I might even give them like 2 meals because I'm starting them off on mouse hoppers, and then I'm going to start all my babies on mice just because it's an easy source for me to get, and then I feed them mice up until they're about 250 300 grams. Once they hit about 350 grams, I back them down to about every 10 to 14 days. And while I'm growing them up, they don't eat every 4 weeks. When they're growing, you got to feed them a little bit more, but you don't have to feed them every week. And I definitely don't feed him every 14 days. I really don't have a schedule. Like I said, I just kind of, he's looking like he needs a meal, and then give him a meal. And when you've been around a lot of ball pythons for a long time, you know what a healthy one's supposed to look like. It's just, and I just say, hey, he's looking a little thin. Throw him a meal. If it hasn't been 2 weeks, if it hasn't been 10 days, I just try to make the snake look healthy and look good, like Doc's talking about. Get that great body condition. When he starts seeing decline, feed him. Feed him immediately.
And what do you do for your colubrids, your bull snakes? How often do you feed those guys?
Oh my God, they'll eat anything and anytime. They'll. I swear to God, that the rodents don't even have to be warm. They don't care as long as they're defrosted. They're good. They're not picky. And they eat ravenously. I mean, they are like wild men, and I feed them probably about every other week. And look, the same thing again. I've got my bull snakes. I think are 4 or 5 years old now, and I haven't. Most people will say, "Oh, you can female bull snakes 3 or 4 years." I had one of the bull snake breeders look at a couple photos of mine just to tell me, yeah, she looks like she's solid enough, and but she's 5 years old, and she's just getting to that. My two females are just getting to the point where they're like ready to start breeding. But again, I fed them every 2 weeks. They did just fine. They look just like every other adult bull snake that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
They don't look like they were, stunted their growth or any of that. It just I think it's more healthy and a more natural way to grow snakes is to feed them the way they would feed themselves in the wild. You know?
Yeah, I just think that some species, I'm not talking about body condition, but I'm talking about temperament, right?
Yeah.
Some species you have to feed them more often
Oh yeah.
because like Kribos, I would say boas even. I noticed that when like my boas start getting annoyed if I go past 4 weeks, they start getting really like they start like striking at the because I have all my boas in enclosures.
Mhm.
They start like striking at the enclosure when you pass by, and like so I try not to pass the four, like, because I don't want them to hurt themselves, right?
Definitely.
And another thing that I noticed too with the tub rubbers, like the nose rubbers, with the ball pythons, I have to feed them more often because it becomes a habit, and then you have the lip sores.
Yeah.
I have two that are sisters. I don't know what to do with them anymore. I think I'll have to put them in enclosures because it becomes such a habit that one time like the lip was just like turning, such a bad injury. And you see the tub rubbers, when you see like the corner of the tub is gonna be like have like this little black grease where they
Uh-huh.
they are constantly rubbing, and that's tough because they even have scarring on both sides because they're rubbing so much. I tried changing temperature, put in a bigger tub, smaller tub, nothing works. So what I noticed that helps a little bit, if I feed them more often, they're like kind of like digesting that food and just like slow down on their pacing.
Right. They go into that food coma. So at least you slow them down for a couple of days. Yeah, I mean, and you know what? You know, once you've been doing this for a couple of years and you get a good idea and a good sense of what a healthy ball python's supposed to look like, I'd say do what you want to do, man. They're your animals. They're yours to take care of. And like I always say on our show with Keys, it's like we're not there. So you gotta say, the persons that's there, we gotta trust them. They've been doing this a while. I've seen your clutches and your animals. You make beautiful animals. I wouldn't be a subscriber.
Thank
I
you.
wouldn't be a subs and I love the thing that you say because I kind of mimicked your style on my I kind of do an intro, like you kind of come in and first talk and have an intro. And then you always have a saying that you say before we go. And what is it? We gotta
Let's dive down.
Let
what does it
let's
say?
dive down and see what we got.
That's right. And you wait for it, right? And I think it's great.
It
I
cracks
don't
me up
care what
every
you
time.
say. It's catchy and people want to hear you say it. So I know I do. I'm sitting there waiting. Go ahead and say it. I want to see the snakes.
I watched it through the bloopers. I watched the bloopers.
Maybe
I
it's
am
only you,
addicted.
coach. I'm gonna start blushing.
All right. Because you know why? It's just like Pavlov, like the dog, right? He'd ring the bell, the dog would start salivating. You say, let's go down and see what I know that means we're about to see some ball pythons and they're gonna be pretty snakes. So I'm ready to go. It makes me excited and I'm ready
No,
to see it.
he loves the he loves that because he loves that because it's like, okay, he's gonna stop talking now and gonna show some snakes. So that's why he gets excited about the
Well,
intro.
I'll tell you what, a lot of the reason I started doing my YouTube channel again is, and I think I made this statement in one of the videos the other day, is I kept watching ball python channels, Doc, and other than your channel, you don't see a lot of ball pythons on ball python YouTube channels anymore. And I've even made some comments on some of the ones
It's
that I
sad.
really like watching, and I say, "Hey, you're not showing any snakes." Um, I know who they're coming to my channel to see, and it certainly isn't the big fat old guy sit in front of a camera and talk to them. That's for sure. They want to see animals. They want to see the snakes that you got. They want to see what you're proud of, and What the hell you're doing in
and
that room all the damn time?
that was one of the big reasons why I started the YouTube channel, because I wanted to share. Like I got like, especially when I start, like my first snake breeding was boas. I was 17, and I was super excited. And back then, I didn't have anybody to share. And around here, I didn't have anybody to share by my kids. My kids are not interested in it anymore. Before, they would get excited about the picking the egg for like the egg cutting and stuff like that. So I said, I'm going to show other people that they're probably going to be watching this, just like, even if it's a simple clutch. I try to share every clutch that I hatch. And when I don't have videos is because I don't have content. It's not because I'm slacking. I might take some time. I film all of them, and then I do the intro the night before that I post the video,
Okay.
so I can have some update too and something like that. But time restriction is because I delay, but it's not because when I don't have any content, is because I basically don't have any clutches going on or anything. So
So
I
you,
love to share this with people. Like,
yeah. I mean, isn't that what every snake guy likes to do? I mean, I it's no fun if you can't show it to somebody else. I mean, I see it every day.
No.
I'm amazed every day I go into my snake room, and I love sharing it with people. I mean, most people do the stuff they spend time on and effort in. They want to spend time with somebody appreciating it. So I
yeah,
want
and a
to
lot
let
of
you
people are
know,
different. For
Doc. I want to let you
Go
know
ahead,
I
coach.
appreciate you and I appreciate your channel. So when you're able, make us some great content so we can go down and check
Dive
out what we
down.
got.
No,
I
I
gladly
watch I watch
go
Doc's
ahead,
stuff
Trev.
because the bloopers to me are absolutely hilarious. I can't get over how funny the bloopers are because he
And
legitimately gets frustrated, and you can see it in his face. And for whatever reason, I love it. I love seeing him suffer.
I'm glad that I
people
got to
thought
know
that I
that he's.
would do stuff on purpose at the beginning.
I'm glad I get to know that you're from
Oh,
Brazil because I was watching your videos going, oh, what is his accent from? But I'll tell you what, I mean, people,
Is he just
you speak
special?
another language other than English, don't you, Doc?
I speak Portuguese and Spanish.
Okay, okay. Let me tell you something,
My
Doc.
native is Portuguese.
Well, I'll tell you what. We go walk around my neighborhood and any neighborhood in America, and we'll go ask a bunch of people how many languages that they speak, and I'll bet you 99.9% of them you speak two more languages than they do. And I just think that's amazing. I just how intelligent do you have to be to understand somebody in three different languages? I I barely understand most people in just English, Doc, and I can't imagine being able to speak three languages. I can barely speak English.
But you know what I
Well, Doc can
noticed
barely speak English
is
too. He has
it was always I started English when I was 11, and I will go to, not in school, but I will actually go to like English classes, like private English classes. Not private, but I would have to pay like a private school. Like you had a group of people in there, and it was so easy to me, that in school I didn't study like for English. Like I would have English classes in school, and I would like be joking around like I do now, and like the teachers will hate me and love me at the same time because I would like be really good on the tests. But when I cross the probably the 30-year mark on my age, it was like a block in my brain. For I tried to learn Dutch for work. Mm-mm. Like it was like a switch was flipped, or like was flipped off, and I can't anymore. So Spanish I learned pretty fast. I was working as a dishwasher in an Italian restaurant where only Mexicans would work in there, and I forced myself because they didn't speak English or Portuguese. So I would ask like everything. I would point it out like, how do you call this? How do you call that? And listen to them.
Right.
And I learned Spanish in 3 months. But now it's like my old brain is not functioning anymore.
But is Portuguese
But
and Spanish, is it similar or are they totally different? I see. I wouldn't know. I mean, we had to take a
it's
foreign language to graduate high school. I waited till I was a senior. I took 1 year of Spanish. I got a C. I passed. Damn it, Doc! I passed. I'm gone. I'm out of there. I can't do it. I can't speak English. Damn near. I think I got the same
yeah.
grade in English that year too, Doc.
Yeah, the guy that was my boss is like, I asked him like, "Do you speak other language?" And he's like, "I speak bad English."
Yeah, that's what I speak. Bad
So
English.
like,
But I hit
no,
my
I
head a
have
lot.
some like, I have some words that I, especially when I'm doing the videos, like I'm kind of like in the middle of the things. One thing that I say a lot is instead of saying other, I say otter. And I like after I'm watching, it's like people are waiting for it, like me bringing in like an otter, like as like oh look, like now I'm not only on
Water.
ball pythons, I have otters now. Um, Otter instead of saying other, I say otter. But things like happen during the videos. For example, one of them was when I was filming, and because this light is too bright, I had the lid from one of my hatch boxes like just like covering the light and was like hanging. And then as I was filming, that thing just like fell. And Travs even thought that was like on purpose. I said,
The
no, it was
timing was
not.
perfect. It was perfect. I was like, how in the hell did he do that?
Yeah,
That was perfect for him to do that.
that is awesome. That is so much fun. It's so funny.
I used to cut at the beginning. If you look at my first videos, I was cutting all the time, and I was like my energy was like kind of low, and I started like as more the more I do. Was it me?
Uh-oh.
No, it's not. I think it's him. Oh,
Yeah, it's always Doc's
Did
internet.
you guys lose me?
for a
A little
minute,
bit.
but
The
you're okay
Brazilian
now.
internet.
Oh. I start trying to improve myself on every video on the editing, but at the beginning I would cut so many times because I would make mistakes. And I said, you know what? Screw it. It's like a lot of people do these things live and they don't make any cuts, and I'm gonna go with it and just make fun. So
Right.
Yeah, Coach, go back on his channel. He has a video where he just put his bloopers together.
Yeah, I think
It's-
I watched that one when he
Oh.
released it.
So I sat there and I laughed my ass off.
Well, I'm gonna go back and watch it
Love
now
when he
that I
screws
know
up.
him. Now that we're friends, I'm gonna go back and watch it. I'll probably comment on all the videos. It's gonna be oh great. He's
Oh,
commented
it's
on
funny.
another one.
Yeah, you know, I commented on all of his videos to
And-
win a
and-
contest, and I didn't win anything.
Yeah.
it's funny because I was at the CRE, and this girl came to me and said, "Okay, now you have to say the pairing, and you can't get it wrong." I said, "Fuck me." Like whenever I start saying the pairing, I always get something wrong. Or even one of my videos, I started the video and I didn't even know what the pairing was, and I was like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah. That's
Uh,
okay. That's okay. That's
it's
just
funny.
Right,
it's
it was
just who
good.
we are. And I think it when you make a mistake and you just leave it in, because that's what I do most of the time. I just leave it in. And I think people are like, I think they know that it's more genuine, right? It just
Yeah.
it feels like it's more of a connectable thing that you can, hey, look, he screws up stuff too. Yeah, I think it makes us look human.
No, the only things that I fix is when I say something that is wrong. I'm talking about like the animals I say had pied and was head clown or something, or like because what people don't realize is that when you're cutting the eggs is a different view than when you're rewatching your own video. Like it's totally different. Like when you're seeing it live, sometimes you don't see as clear as when you're watching your own video.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, of course was this like what I was talking about. Like, of course was a black hat, or it's funny, but like when especially because you have to look at the animal, you have to look at the camera to see if it's like if
In
it's like
frame.
centered or so. It's amazing like how sometimes you don't see something and it's very clear on the video after you were editing it.
Right. And there's some guy on the comment going, "Oh, that's obvious," and you're like, "Yeah, well, I was looking through the camera trying to keep the egg in the frame, trying to make sure that I, wasn't spilling all the albumin out of the egg so that, it's like,
You,
yeah,
you know what was the hardest one that I made when I tried to use two cameras when I did like the ultrasound video?
okay.
Oh my God, that thing was a nightmare because I was trying to look through the camera and I was looking at the ultrasound and I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? And then I had to sync because I didn't know like how to like when you're editing and you're adding both of the videos together. I don't know like how to work like some guys are like the YouTubers, they like know to a T like how to edit and sync things and putting the camera and I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? But new learn skills, right? Like
Right.
I never thought about editing a video and now like usually takes me an hour to edit a video. Before it would take me like 4 hours to be like, and now you know what to do and where to look
Right.
and that's a big thing. And I do everything on my phone. I don't have like a desktop software to edit the videos. I do everything on CapCut or I do it on, now they have the YouTube that is free, but I actually prefer CapCut. They have more features and stuff like that.
My daughter is
But
my
it's
oldest
fun.
daughter.
I
Yeah.
love like doing the thumbnails, like working like AI and having a
Yeah. I had to sign up for a little AI so I could make my thumbnails. My daughter actually,
sorry, I
uh,
lost you.
I think it's you there.
That's a nice freeze picture of Doc right there.
Yeah, it is. He really looks good there.
Yeah, I can hear you, but you're breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, you're breaking up for us too. Yeah, but
Let me
yeah,
see which Wi-Fi.
I
Yeah,
think
it
that
took me about 45 minutes to make my very first reel on Instagram.
yeah,
And I realized I had been on Instagram for years and had never done anything but consume content. And so I tried to make my first reel, and I made it, and it was still a mistake because I had done a short video of a water bottle on the table. And I didn't realize it. And so even when I posted it and it came up and I watched the video and I was like, that's not what I was trying to do. How the hell did that video get there? And it took me like 45 minutes and I wanted to throw my phone across the room.
yeah. I couldn't do an Instagram thing. I can share or whatever. I can do that kind of stuff, but make a reel? Nah, come on, I'm 60. I mean, when I
Well,
was growing up, when I was your age, Doc, shoot, I think we didn't even have an internet. Internet, what's that?
What are you talking about? Rafi's the same age. He's 60.
No, Doc is not 60.
I'm older than some people think. I'm gonna be 44 this year.
I would have
Uh,
guessed I would have guessed about 40ish, late 30s is what I would have said.
yeah, that's
So
what I get usually.
you're just being a brown noser, coach.
I know. Hey, I wish I was young and good looking still. I got beaten with the ugly stick on the way up here. That's for sure.
Well, I've been beating with the ugly stick, but I look a little bit younger usually, unless I'm like worn out before work, like due to work. But I've been taking care of myself more and going to the gym and stuff. I was like back pain and I've been like, believe it or not, guys, at one point I was 320 pounds.
Yeah,
What?
I'm a little north of that still right now, but I'm 6'4", so
How tall are you, Doc?
I'm 6'1",
6'1".
and
You're
now I'm
6'4".
on the I'm 195 right now. But I really I fast, so like I only eat from 8:30 in the morning to 2:30 in the afternoon, and then I don't eat anything else.
Now I feel
So
kind
like,
of guilty for eating pizza right before I got on here.
yeah, because think of this. I probably work, besides my work, I work like 5 hours with the snakes every day. Like if I was overweight, that would put a toll like on my legs and stuff like that. So I have to keep myself healthier. I travel too much, so, and then I have to cut on my fasting because I have to have dinner with suppliers and customers, and so I have to do it. I don't have an option.
Right.
Uh,
So how did you lose all the weight? Just the fasting, or?
no, like I've been always up and down my whole life. So I did some dieting, nothing worked. And when I came like across fasting, I cannot cut back on anything. Like I'm like a cookie monster. I love sugar, and that's really bad for you. So the reality to me is like, if I eat the same even with fasting, even if you eat the same amount of food but you divide throughout the day, you don't have the same result as you have with fasting. So what I do, I eat whatever I want. Of course, I don't eat like a pail of ice cream like when I'm fasting, but I eat sugar, I eat chocolate. I eat a really good meal during lunchtime, and I lose a lot of weight. And even if you skip a week, like your body is in that mode, like the burning mode, so it doesn't affect you.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been
I thought he
fasting
was going to
for
say,
decades.
Travis, I thought he was going to say he didn't eat for 4 weeks, and that's how he lost all the weight.
I
No,
learned from the ball pythons.
Yeah.
once a month. Yeah, no, fasting's good for you. I imagine it's good for the snakes too.
Well, they
I'm
do it.
the same
I had
boat. I
that.
typically eat once a day, usually dinner.
Oh yeah.
I've been doing that since, well, on and
Just
off. I
so
mean, I go through
just
stretches.
just to answer to Gilded Scales, the only reason why I don't do one take per video is because sometimes I have 3 egg cuttings in one day, and I don't have time to be like talking. I like to have the after that I can speak a little bit like on the results and everything like that. One thing that I would like to do, but it's just like catches I can't catch up with time, is I would like to have like a clutch update, and I always promise and I never do. So that's why I have 2 takes. I get all the egg cuttings, and then like maybe even like a month or two later, I'll do the intro because that's when I have time. And then I start, since I have, I don't know, 10 clutches that I have to do videos. I do once a week. I do like one clutch video. So like I always have content on that period of time. But that's all.
But your videos are great, and I like the before thing and after thing, and I stole it because I think it's the way that if you're going to be heavy on the animals like you're doing, Doc, and like I'm doing, the only time that they have to connect with you is on the front and the end, right? So, if you don't spend the whole video just sitting there talking to the camera, um, that's the only time they have to connect with you. So in the beginning, on the end, hey, see you later. Thank you for coming by again. I've stole your style, so I was kind of nervous about coming on here, and I was just going to fess to it
Are
right
you
out the
freaking?
gate.
I'm gonna die. No, it's
I was,
good. It's good to like people coming up to me like at shows and just saying that it's very gratifying. That
see, that
people.
hasn't happened to me yet. Nobody's recognized me like walking around a show and hey, I watch your YouTube. I
Well,
can't
you just
wait
started your YouTube channel, didn't you, Coach?
Right. Well, tried to start about 2 years ago, and then I went back to coaching high school football. I coached high school football for 20 years, and um, so I thought I was going to get out, so I started my channel, and then I got talked back into going back and spent another 2 years doing it. And so then I finally said, you know what? I just want to do the snake thing and family stuff. And I love the snakes because the snakes are here at home, right? When you're coaching football, I was like 40 hours a week working and then if 40, 45, and then I would be about 30 to 35 hours, coaching or working on the football, and it was just a lot of time, man. It was like having two full-time jobs, and then I still had snakes and babies, and so I didn't really have a lot of family time. So when I stopped doing the football, I was like, this is going to do just the snakes and the family stuff.
Yeah, YouTube, you have to be consistent. Otherwise, the logarithm just like throws you off. And even like I noticed, for example, I have an average of 500 to 600 views. Some of my videos have 2,000 views, but in general, like it's like 500 to 600. And I notice, like when I'm not consistent once a week, I get like harmed on the views, and it goes back to 200, 300 because they're not promoting your video.
Right.
So,
And so what do you how many subscribers do you have on your channel now?
I look at today, I think it was like 728.
Yeah. And the thing I like to look at is look at the analytics and see how many of the people who are watching your videos aren't subscribed to your channel. And that always blows me away. It's like, all you got to do is click one button, and it helps me out a lot. And you don't really care. You don't ever have to come back if you don't want to.
Hey, I subscribe.
I'm always asking for subscribers. Just like what people don't understand is we're not doing this, like we're never gonna make YouTube money out of this. It's just like to share your content. And I like to have the videos too, because when I have animals for sale morph market, I usually attach the video so people can actually see the animals, like the video of the animals that they're getting, which is pretty cool. And then you can refer to that, right? As a buyer, you like to be connected with like your animal, especially if it's a pet. Like that person is gonna, like, a breeder doesn't care, like, but like if you have as a pet, like, look, I saw my snake hatching, or like it was in your video. And thank you, Michael. Like, really appreciate you, and it's great that it's doing good. But in general, I enjoy doing it. I wish I had more time to do it.
I'm breeding Angolans to gilded scales. I've got a 3.5.
Yes.
My favorite snakes.
And then I'm just going to stalk you and figure out when your schedule and when you leave your house, so that I can just sneak in behind you and get me a bumpy ball python thing. And I want one so bad.
They are awesome. They're absolutely awesome snakes. Everybody sleeps on the Angolans, man. I tell you, I think they're pretty, but obviously the ball pythons have the morphs, but these guys 1000% have the personality.
Oh, they're amazing looking animals too. Just amazing.
I mean, hold on, I'll just show you. Since I'm in the office, she wants to come out. And she does this whenever I'm in here.
And
she got her enclosure next to my desk.
Yeah.
If I'm in here, she's right. I feed on one side and I let her out on the other side.
There you go.
And she's always at the side to be let out. And this is what she loves to do. And they're all like this. I had them in tubs, which I don't recommend, but I moved, we bought a new house and we moved and everything. And so I've had the Angolans in tubs and they don't like it. They all run, just like what you were talking about, Rafi. Yeah. And so I had one male that had been, I don't have any available now, but maybe clutches, maybe in the spring. We'll see how things go this year. I've got one pair that's old enough to breed. But
are you gonna try to do regular Angolans first, or are you gonna try hybrids with one of the females? You have one. You have one pair that is ready.
I've got one breeding pair of Angolans that are, yes, they're proven, and I've got my males the rest of my males are all ready. This is a female. She's not anywhere close to breeding age, but I am pairing one of my males with a dreamsicle,
Yeah.
and they've got multiple locks so far. They're doing great as a couple. You know, really like each other. You know, they cuddle the whole time.
Right.
And so hopefully I'll get some hybrids out of that. But I definitely want to make the pure Angolans. These things they are so outgoing. They're so gregarious. You know, they got a little bit of a bad rap. You know, I don't know who said it, but you know, there's a little bit of a rap. Oh, they're kind of bitchy. They're, you know, a little hissy and stuff like that. They hiss more than ball pythons do, but they're
Well, if you ever had a berm like it's probably nothing.
yeah. My berms they all hiss. So but yeah, I mean these guys are phenomenal.
Looks
Have
like a
you-
super asphalt.
Have
That's
you?
what it
Oh, yeah, it looks awesome. I love the collar too.
Can you imagine what this would look like with hypo?
No
Oh,
kidding.
that's insane.
No kidding.
Did
That
you? What about Monarch?
Or monarch even? I mean,
Have you-
so right
Have you
now,
ultrasound the female? No.
no, not yet. So I've got the banana angry ball or royal Angolan. Love them. Absolutely love hybrids. My hybrid snakes also. There's hybrid vigor in the pairing between the ball python and the Angolan.
Uh-huh.
The heterosis, which is the scientific term for it. Those snakes are monsters. They eat like they have better feeding response than the Angolans. They're just as outgoing, just like this. Picking them up is like picking up an iron bar.
Yep.
And they're just a very strong. They've got a really strong constitution, and they're just a big snake that commands a lot of attention. And they're every bit as outgoing as the Angolans are. They're
I
great.
like that. I don't have any problem with the hybrids.
Me
I always
neither.
tell
Yeah.
people you didn't have any problem with your hybrid dogs. What do you have a problem with a hybrid snake for?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you what it is. You know, they didn't think of it, so maybe they're mad. I don't know. Who knows?
I'm not mad at you about your German Shepherd Chihuahua. Why are you giving me a problem about a hybrid snake?
Yeah, people are afraid of what they don't understand. Some hybrids I don't like just because I don't like them. For example,
Right.
you get a carp chondro. Like in my taste, you're taken away from both species. Some people love them.
Yeah.
I just
But I
just
do
don't.
hear that quite a bit. Why did you ruin the Angolan with a ball python? It's like, well,
See, and I'm a ball python
that's
guy,
your
so I
opinion.
would say, why did you ruin the ball python with the Angolan python? Right.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
it's all an opinion.
I-
I mean,
I see them as complementary. I mean, I think that they bring out, the best in each other. I mean, that's why we have that hybrid vigor. The Angolans will eat every time, twice on Sunday.
right.
They're very, very dependable eaters. The hybrids are, I would say, like your bull snakes. They
Yeah.
are absolute insane feeding response.
They're
Yeah,
just
that's,
amazing.
You can import them. Most people don't because the tariffs, the import fees, and everything. Just they don't make it financially feasible to import
Right.
them unless you can bring in a bunch. But you can get them. Angolan Python Project in Germany. He's breeding a line of Angolans that have stripes,
Really.
and those it's a line breeding. And they look pretty sharp. But Angola and Namibia, they don't allow exports. Well, Angola does, but good luck getting in there and coming out with all of your limbs because
I told you on our show that I met a kid from Angola. He was a
Yeah.
basketball player, and he went to the high school where my daughter was, and they ended up coming by here one night. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm from Angola." And I told you, asked him, I said, "I want Angolan pythons." I thought maybe he would have like a hookup or a contact, but he just looked at me like I had a third eye in the middle of my forehead. Like, what are you talking about?
That's very actually they speak Portuguese in Angola.
Yeah.
It's funny because the first time I came to the US, I was so like mesmerized by reptile pet stores because we don't have it in Brazil. So I came to the guy that like the storefront, and he said, I said, well, we don't have stores that have like snakes in Brazil. And then he looked at me and said, oh yeah, because there you can just like grab them, right? I said, oh yeah, I have like anacondas going through my backyard.
But you
I
could
was
find
like,
a boa in the wild where you grew up. See, I couldn't find a.
yeah, but for example, like the city that I came from, like it's like Atlanta.
Okay.
So like it's not like you have regions of Brazil, like, and then like you'd have to go to places where you have them. For example, my state doesn't have boas. They're more up north, and you have different localities in Brazil too that are completely different. Like if you see like a BCC from the Amazon,
Mhm.
they're almost yellow. They're amazing, and they get like ginormous. Like the Amazonian boa constrictors, they get like gigantic. And to me, they're the most more than the Surinams or the Guianas. They look amazing. They don't have as red of a tail, but their color is like out of this world.
And whenever we think, from here in America, you think of Brazil, you got the Jesus thing on top of and probably just the main cities. And we don't know. We're just Americans. What the hell do we know?
Yeah, Brazil usually is carnival and ass.
Yeah.
That's what people think about when they.
Highly recommend gilded scales.
I
Angolans
do
are
too.
awesome.
I'm looking for one too, but they're kind of a little pricey, so I like them. But
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
gonna,
I
I'm
mean,
gonna.
their prices have come down a little bit temporarily because of the,
Oh yeah.
the economy. But
How much are they? How much are they ranging from, Trav? I know that that's all about quality of the animals too, especially like.
so
Uh,
for you can get a male, if I would say a bargain price is $600 for a male, and that's not an adult.
Yeah, I would say that's
Um,
a bargain. I've never seen one for lower than 700 or 800 bucks.
yeah. So if you figure 700 or 800 bucks for a male, $800 for a male, $1,200 for a female. Adults are usually a lot more because it takes the females about 7 years to get to breeding age. Males takes about 3 or 4 years, and so it takes a while, And so if somebody's selling an adult, then you're buying their time with that
Took me
animal.
6 years to get a clutch out of a VPI Xanthic female that I told you about from Sean Bradley. 6 years it took me to get a clutch from her.
Well, I've got a 2023 female that she's still 860 grams.
Yeah, and I bought this one snake from a guy when I first started. It was like a normal female, and I thought, it looks sugar to me. It just like looks, low expression. And I said, I'm going to buy the damn snake just to prove to him that it's a sugar. She just laid a clutch for me. First clutch. I think I've had her 9 years, 4 eggs. She's tiny. I think she might be.
You don't give up.
I think
That's
she might be
dedication
dwarf
right
ball
there,
python. I might start selling dwarf ball pythons. Super dwarf.
yeah, but size doesn't mean anything. I have a probably 2,500 gram female. She is a 2022, and she's always at 5 millimeters.
Yeah.
Like, and I ultrasound every single month. I even tried to put males to see if it would trigger like she eats amazing, but she just like I don't want to breed, guy. You have me as a pet.
Yeah, my female eats a mouse every other Tuesday when it's a full moon.
Right.
And that's it. She won't eat anything else, but she looks great. I mean, if I picked her up and handed her to you, you'd be like, "Oh wow, she's a great, yearling, 1.5-year-old female ball python in great condition."
I couldn't get this female to eat hardly anything. I mean, it was size of prey. It was just, and then to finally when I got her going, and she eats medium rats just like all my other big females. But I guarantee you, when she laid her eggs, I guarantee you she wasn't 1,000 grams after she laid her eggs.
Yes.
Yeah, I tried to go.
Did your hybrids take longer to grow? So the Royal Angolans, the Angolan ball hybrid mix, they grow extremely fast, but I don't think they mature as fast as ball pythons, right? So growth rate and maturity, in my mind, are two different things. Both of my girls are over 3,000 grams, the what I'm considering adults, and they are October 2023 hatch dates, both of them, the same clutch. The one's the banana and the other one is I think they might both be het pied. I know one of them is at least het pied. But they are not sexually mature. I ultrasounded them both. They're both sitting at like 5-7 millimeters. I put male in there just to see what would happen. Like the banana, I put my Angolan male in there that's very gregarious, and she coiled up like a ball. She coiled up like a ball python. And the other girl did the same thing. I put a nice tri-stripe ball python in with her, and she just coiled up in the corner and was like, F you. And the males were all about it. The males were all stretched out, you know, hey, how's it going? What you doing? You know, and the girls were like, get away, you know. So
it was like a junior high school dance in that cage.
Yeah. I'll ultrasound again next month. I don't think I'll see anything. My opinion, you know, so like with the balls and the Angolans, when you see the sexual maturity, you kind of see the head, like the base of the neck and the head get wide. Angolans do the same thing. And both of these girls still have kind of a narrow head. Like one of my Angolan girls, she had kind of like the narrow neck and the narrow head. And then one day I opened her enclosure, and like she like had this great big neck and this big wide head. And I was like, holy crap. That was like overnight, it seems like. So she's not ready to breed yet, but she's definitely like reached the next stage of maturity, at least in my opinion. So
there's a pied that I'd like to see is a pied Angolan hybrid ball pied. That is, and you were saying
I have a pair that are definitely het pied, male and a female. The two older females that I just referred to, there was a banana het pied ball python to an Angolan, and I didn't think they were het pied at all. And you can't tell with the banana, at least I can't. But the other one, I was looking at it and I could see the markers for pied. I could see the just really distinct, you know, like train track.
Right.
And so I messaged the guy and I was like, hey, did you, is there pied in this at all? And he goes, oh, you know what? I think that female, she might've been het pied.
You know what intrigues me? If you send the shed, because the genome is kind of different, if it would show up in a shed test.
Well, I think that it might. Reason being is I forget, he's got him on Morph Market under the hybrid snake section. I forget the breeder's name, but he's got het clowns, which if I wasn't already like up to my eyeballs, I would probably pick up a pair of het clowns, because that's one of the things that I want to make, or the visual clowns. I want to see what the visual clown looks like. And he had them tested at RGI, and they came back.
Interesting.
No issues. Like they got good markers, and it was a high quality. What you call it? Yeah.
So they could run the test on it.
Yeah. So at least, I mean, I don't know if it's good across the board, but at least for het clown, they can. And yeah, Gilded Scales, they've got the hybrid het pieds for sale and the hybrid het clowns. So, I mean, if you like the hybrids, and I can't advocate enough. If a kid came up to me and said, hey, I want to get my first snake, I want a python, what do you recommend? I would recommend the hybrid. You don't have the finicky eating. You don't have the, you know, I gave my son-in-law a ball python, and he never sees it. You know, it's in its enclosure, and he never eats, and, you know, he eats once every couple months. And, you know, my son's like, oh, it's great, but, you know, I wish he like did more. And with the hybrids, you don't have to worry about that. They're all over the place, and they're eating machines.
Yeah,
So
a
for
couple of
kid,
a couple of species that intrigues me is the dwarf pythons, like children's and stamsons. But
yeah.
I just don't have space for anything anymore. And the not the sand boas, the rosy boas.
Oh,
But
That's the
another
only
thing that
boas. That's the only boas we had where I grew up. Doc is his rosy boas. I mean,
I
right?
love them. I think they're beautiful. But the thing is, one is time. I don't want to get into any other species right now. And two, I don't know if I want to deal with a litter of small animals that I have to feed, like pinky mice and stuff like that. It's just like, to me, it's just like, I told Travis I have this process to a T, like everything. I have my own rodent production, and like I have mice, I have rats, and it's so easy. And then if you have to go into another species, then you have to do the ins and outs. People say the rosy boas, you have, after you feed them, you have to take the water dish out because sometimes they drink too much water and they regurge. So as much as I love them, it's just like the emeralds. Like it's not the time. One day, my dream species, I was telling Trav, is Amazon basins. This, to me, they're Brazilian, and two, the colors, they always like the green, yellow, and the white contrast. If you look at Ed Marino's like collection, is like out of this world.
Just amazing. They're just amazing animals.
Yeah.
And I would love to have those too. I mean, if I could just keep whatever I want, I would definitely have some of the boas rather than the GTPs. I've always liked the boa one a little better. It's a different green, I think.
It's bigger, it's thicker.
Yeah,
I like that they're heavy, like heavy bodied.
yeah,
And I like the basins better because I like the head shape is different.
right.
To me they're prettier. The yellow is like more contrasty than the Surinams.
So
Um,
a lot of the guys say that I've heard talk about the green tree the boas. They say that they one of the types has more prevalent the like white patterning on it. The like the bob wiring or the diamonds. They were
it's line breeding. Like when you have the thick stripe, there's like really thick that it looks like somebody spray painting them with
right,
white, is just line breeding. And then you have the dark ones, they're almost black. I like the lighter ones, but people go crazy after like the just like the green tree pythons. Like line breeding is the same
right,
thing. But the only green tree pythons that I like are the ones with blue. I had
right,
a female and I end up like not, but they're like basically, besides the night when you're feeding, it's like having uh, like a stuffed like python in there. They don't move a lot. You have to make them move because otherwise they don't have bowel movements. And I noticed that when I had a green tree python, that she would only drink if I would like when I sprayed her. So I
Yeah.
would heavily like she drank from her own body, so she would create a fold, and
right,
she would, you could see her drinking what as I was spraying. She would never drink from the dish, and that's a very important thing with green tree pythons is maintain them hydrated. Otherwise, they
right.
won't have a bowel movement either. And it's amazing to see because basically you can see that they're relying on rain to drink water, right? They're
Right.
sitting on the branch, and then just like rain comes down, they will
Yeah,
make
well, it
like a
rains every
coil.
day where they're at, right? I mean, it's high humidity, so yeah, you just look yourself once in a while. So much humidity
And see,
there.
that's why I could never, I never wanted to bring that type of species here because I live in the desert. I live in, just outside of Phoenix.
So you need Angolans is what you need.
That's what I
You've got
want.
the
I want
bridle.
Angolans.
So one of the guys that I bought Angolans from, I don't know if he does Breedles anymore. Um, he had mentioned that an Angolan Bredel hybrid would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I bet it would be.
They have similar environmental. They're from the same environment, right? Semi-arid, hot, kind of rough, rocky terrain. Right, one's in interior of Australia, and the other one is, in
And those
South
group of guys,
Africa.
they're big on the the lineage, and you got to have all the background on the animals, but they're also they want to poo-poo at everybody else, but whenever they start doing that, just ask them, hey, is your albino carpet python, is it a full Darwin, or if it's not full Darwin, and it's a mix? Because all the albino in the carpet python started in the Darwin a line of carpet, and it's all locality, right? I mean, all the carpet pythons are locality for Australia, so coastals are by the coast and whatnot.
And even like I was talking to Travis, like I have a female Volta ball python. I truly believe that it's another subspecies, like because they're different. Like their head structure is different. They're super heavy body. It's not that. It's not only the size that they're longer. I think we classify things wrong because we don't know, right?
Right.
At the beginning, you think everything is the same. Oh, now we have BCIs and you have BCCs, but at the beginning, people would call like we're not even having BCCs anymore. As we have BCs and BIs.
Right.
Like back in the day, like we would call it BCC and BCI. But I truly believe that but again, I'm mixing my Volta with regular size ball pythons, and maybe you can call it a hybrid too. I don't know if it's you can call it a hybrid, but you're mixing just like mixing a BCI and a BCC.
Yeah,
See,
or
the
a dwarf
Volta was always
Indonesian or
explained to
Indonesian.
me as like a locality ball python. I mean, and it goes to I mean, it makes sense. I mean, bigger ball pythons, bigger animals are going to make bigger animals. I mean,
And they're from different part of the country,
so
Yeah.
all right.
Well, gents, we are coming up on almost 2 hours here. So it's
Love it.
probably time to pull the plug. I know some of us have to work tomorrow, that being me and Rafi. I think Coach is retired.
Darn near. I DoorDash a little. Sometimes I do some sneaker sales, reselling and selling
Cool.
stuff.
Yeah, like those Velcro Nikes.
Yeah, just like Nikes, stuff like that. Air Force Ones. Mainly like basketball, tennis shoes, and stuff like that. If you can find them for closeout prices at like a Nike outlet, then I'll turn around and say, "Well, should you sell those $100 a pop?"
I don't know if this is my old age talking, but I want a really nice pair of Velcro sneakers.
There you go. Tell you what, tying sucks. When you get old, you can't breathe when you bend over. Just let you know.
Yeah. All right, guys. I think that'll do it for tonight.
Thanks
Coach,
for having me
for
on,
coming.
guys. I really appreciate it. I really do.
No, my pleasure. Let's keep in touch, Coach.
Yeah, definitely, Doc. Make sure I'm subscribed to your channel. God darn it, hit me up a little bit.
I will for sure. I'm gonna give a shout out.
ADHD is so bad, but I'll remind him.
You have to be careful what you ask for. Like last time that Travis was bitching about me not giving him a shout out, he got what he deserved. I was not very mean to him.
He totally trashed me on his channel. It was what kind of a friend does that?
The best of friends.
Exactly. That's the best kind you can have.
I'm gonna tell you what, your best friends are always the ones that are gonna tell you the truth and give you the hardest time.
If I'm joking around and messing with you, it's because I like you. If I don't, I don't care about you.
Yeah, it's not because you need a dopamine hit or anything like that.
Yeah.
Oh, not at all. I don't have ADHD, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Of course not. All right, gentlemen. Thanks again. And
Thanks,
Terrence,
guys.
if you're out there watching still, thanks for coming. We'll do it again sometime.
I appreciate
Until then, everybody in the chat, thanks for stopping by. Gilded Scales, thanks for all the questions and comments. Greatly appreciate it. Until next time, which we're not exactly sure when that'll be, but there will be a next time. Thanks for tuning in.
And
Take care.
I'll see you on the next one.
And
Bye.
see you on the next one.
Thank you, Doc. I appreciate you doing that.